Okay, this is a spring cleaning video. This is my friend's PC that we're going to be cleaning today, and also doing a few light upgrades. So you know, it's hard to build a new computer right now here in 2026. It's hard to even do like some serious upgrades for RAM, storage, things like that. But we're gonna try to keep it simple and light. One thing you can do if you have an existing PC though, right now is clean it. And cleaning is good. This is actually my friend Alvaro's PC, who if you saw the last house rebuild update, you'll know that Alvaro is not just my friend, he's also the general contractor for my house rebuild. So yeah, so we you know, we're exchanging some services. He's building me a house and I'm cleaning his PC. I think it's a fair trade. But we'll also be doing some, like I said, some fun hardware upgrades, really simple stuff, but still I think meaningful. So he actually built this under my supervision. I know that's a little concerning, but we built this together more or less about 5 years ago during the pandemic. You may have seen that video where he and I put it together. And it's got a Ryzen 7 3700X, so it's on AM4 still. It's got DDR4 memory, 32 gigs though, 32 gigs of DDR4, and an Asus TUF Gaming RTX 3080. So it was really a top-of-the-line build back then, and it's still pretty decent now. And he's not a hardcore gamer or anything. He does some light stuff, some VR here and there, so he doesn't really need a heavy upgrade. But what he does need, what his PC does need, is a proper cleaning and maybe some reapplication of the thermal paste on the CPU. He's also running out of storage, so there's a 2 terabyte NVMe SSD in here currently. He's pretty much maxed that out, so we're also going to be addressing that in this video. The last thing that I kind of want to do here, last two things, is cooling. So I want to upgrade his cooling a little bit. Right now it's pretty minimal. He's got a rear 120 millimeter fan, and then he's got 2 fans on this radiator for the AIO at the front, which are great. These are all Corsair maglev fans. They're good quality fans, but I feel like it could be a little improved inside of this case. This is the Phanteks Eclipse P200A, which is a mini ITX case, so mini ITX board and all that. But it actually has a lot of cooling support that we're just kind of not utilizing right now. So I want to take advantage of that by installing some fans on the side. Actually, what we're probably going to do is move the radiator to the side and then have some 2 dedicated fans at the front. I actually have them right here. We've got some Arctic P14 Maxes. We got two 140 millimeter P14 Maxes from Arctic, and we'll be putting those in the front. And there's also a 120 millimeter slim fan from Arctic, their P12 Slim, that's currently on the floor. And I want to put that underneath the GPU. There's just enough clearance for it. But that was the last thing that I wanted to do with this build, is address the pretty god-awful GPU sag that wasn't there when we put the rig together, you know, 5 years ago. But over 5 years, it's kind of slumped down more and more. So we'll find a way to fix that as well. So that's pretty much what we're doing today. Just to quickly recap, we're going to clean the system, give it a nice clean inside and out, reapply the thermal paste. We'll even do some before and after thermal testing. We're going to expand the storage with an additional NVMe drive, upgrade the airflow situation with a few new fans, and find out what to do about that GPU sag. So, you know, it's not the most insane upgrade video I've ever done, but sometimes just doing a nice deep clean and making little improvements like this to a build can really make your system look and feel a whole lot better overall. A little can go a long way here, so it should be fun. Let's go ahead and let the spring cleaning begin.
Stop clowning around with retail prices and check out today's sponsor, CDKeyOffer.com. Instead of dropping $200 on Windows 11 Pro, take advantage of their Easter sale and get it for just $34. Or even better, use my code BW20 at checkout and knock it down to just $26.
Not bad, not bad.
That's 88% off retail. With Windows 10 officially hitting end of life this year, now's the perfect time to upgrade and keep your system secure and up to date. These keys are safe and reliable. I've been buying from this site for years, and I've never had an issue or needed customer support. Checking out only takes a few seconds. Your key shows up instantly after purchase, and activating Windows has never been faster or cheaper. And yes, my code BW20 also works on all Office products, like Microsoft Office 2019 Pro, which you can pick up for just $53. Pretty much everything on the site is on sale right now, so hit the link in the description and don't miss out on these deals at CDKeyOffer.com.
right, I've gone ahead and disassembled the PC as much as we need to clean everything thoroughly and to make our upgrades. So I've left the power supply and the motherboard installed, and everything else, as you can see, is ready for cleaning. But a few things I want to go over before we start that. For starters, cleaning materials, I've got some isopropyl alcohol, 99.9% in a little spray bottle here that we're going to be using to clean everything. I'm actually stealing this from Mel, my girlfriend. She uses this for cleaning the 3D print plates on her 3D printers because she needs it to be really high. This just means for us, it's just going to evaporate really quickly. It's actually, in some sense, safer in that regard because it just means that there's going to be less chance of shorting anything. It's going to dry really fast. The problem with really high percentage, though, of alcohol is that it's pretty harsh on your skin. So to prevent any irritation, I'm also going to be wearing these nitrile gloves while we clean everything, and we'll be using to scrub everything down this microfiber cloth. Microfiber is nice because it doesn't leave any residue. You could use like a paper towel or something like that, but then you get little white bits of lint and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to note is the SSD we're installing. For starters, it is a Kioxia XG8. It's 2 terabytes. Kioxia is known for enterprise hardware, but they also make some client drives as well. And this is a 2 terabyte PCIe Gen 3 drive, so not super fast, but Alvaro needs capacity, not speed. So Gen 3 is going to be just fine. He's just playing games on it. There is a spare M.2 slot, an unused M.2 slot on this board, which, by the way, in case you're interested, is a Strix B550i Gaming from Asus. So the one that we have currently installed is a 2 terabyte drive under this heatsink. And then there's another slot available on the back. And thank God for Fantex, they have made this metal plate here removable. So we don't actually have to uninstall the motherboard to access the back side of the board. We can just unscrew that thumb screw, and you can see there's a slot right there. Now you might be a little concerned about thermals. Is it going to get too hot? Is the drive going to overheat back here? There's no heatsink after all. And I wouldn't be too worried about it, mostly because A, it's PCIe Gen 3, which doesn't heat up, it doesn't overheat, have a tendency to overheat quite as much as Gen 4 or Gen 5 drives. The other issue, even if it did, the fact that Alvaro is only gaming on this and not doing really hard sustained workloads like rendering, for example, gives me a lot of confidence that we're not going to overheat. Gaming on an SSD is considered a relatively light workload because you're really only taxing the drive when you're loading maps, for example, loading levels, and that's just like more short bursts of activity rather than really long sustained workloads. So, I'm going to tell them to keep an eye on it, but I don't foresee any issues with overheating with it installed back here. The other thing to consider is that we have those 3 fans that we're going to be installing. That's 3 fans, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the originals, that's 6. 6 fans inside of this little PC, which means that 3 splitters should do the trick. However, we have a 7th PWM cable coming off of the heatsink, or sorry, the water block for our AIO, which means we need 7. So actually, these aren't going to cut it. We're actually going to have to double down. We're going to have to double up, put a splitter on a splitter, giving us a total of 7 connections, PWM connections. Now, is that a problem? Is this going to be okay? This seem sketchy? The main thing is that we can't exceed 1 amp. Generally, you have 1 amp. Each of these 4-pin PWM fan headers on the motherboard usually can handle up to 1 amp of total power. And you just got to do the math there. So this pump, I looked it up on Fantex's website. This is the Glacier 1, 240 millimeter AIO. Their pump is rated to go draw up to 4.45 amps. So about half an amp, which is kind of a lot. It's already half of what one of those headers is capable of. So I'm going to be pairing that with just one of these maglev fans, this ML120 from Corsair, which each of these does about 0.3 amps. So together these two, 0.8, that's still underneath our 1 amp limit, which is fine. And then I'm going to pair these 2 radiator fans, also ML120s, with the slim fan, because the slim fan is only 0.1 amp. This is very low power. So having these 3 on another fan header should be totally fine. That's what, 0.7 amps. And then on the last fan header, we're going to have the P14 Maxes. These, I believe, can draw up to 0.3 to 0.35 amps each. So call it 0.7 at most, and that should be totally fine. So that's how we're going to break that down. That's how we're going to plug everything in case you were curious. But that's pretty much what we're working with. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just start cleaning. It's going to probably take me maybe a couple hours to really clean everything thoroughly. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and we'll see how it looks when it's done. Here she is, all clean. My goodness, yeah, that took, like I thought, about 2 to 3 hours, almost 3 hours, start to finish, and yeah, it went pretty smoothly. You can see it looks brand new. It looks like the day we built it, except more air, a lot more air going through here. I haven't configured the fan curve on anything yet, so it's still a little bit noisy, but you can just tell there's so much more air moving through here. It's crazy. In such a small space, we have 6 fans going now, which is just bananas. And I did remove the power supply sticker. Just, you know, we're looks maxing. I'm guilty. I'm totally looks maxing this build, but I just thought it looked a lot cleaner with that, without that EVGA sticker. Which, by the way, the 99.9% alcohol, that takes off the sticker residue very nicely. And yeah, it looks great. We installed the SSD, no problem. Installed all the fans. As you can see, the clearance is out of control. The clearance between the front fans and the radiator fans, I mean, look at that. Freaking zero clearance, like what? And then the bottom radiator fan with the GPU, just look at that. Look at this corner. Look at this, it's so insane. You know, and the craziest thing is that it's not they're not pushing against each other. Nothing is bending or leaning in any way it shouldn't. It's perfect clearance. 1 millimeter beyond this, then we might have some pushback, but it's just absolutely perfect, which is crazy. I thought I was gonna have the same issue with the bottom fan and the GPU, but there's actually a bit of space between them, a small gap, actually the perfect gap for that little HDMI dust cap for the GPU that I'm using as the sag bracket, which it's absolutely perfect. It fits there like a glove. It's not going anywhere. It's very snug. And it's great. The fact that it's got that, you know, it's sort of a soft rubbery material means it's even absorbing a bit of vibration. The cable management, you know, there's some builds that look really good and you're really proud of how clean and tidy it looks. And then there's other builds where you're just happy to get the side panel on. And that was definitely this, especially adding on all the fans. There's not a whole lot of space back there. And then adding all these fans, really just sort of maxing it out. Putting as many cables in here as we could. It was a really tight fit. So I actually let out an audible sigh once I got the side panel on. It was a tough one. All right, the results are in. Testing went really well. Starting with the idle temps. So idle temps were actually the most surprising for me personally. We went from 50 degrees Celsius idling down to 43 C. And of course, this was all tested with all the side panels on. I just took the glass off so that you can see it better, less reflections. But yeah, we dropped 7 degrees when idling just from adding the fans, cleaning, and thermal paste reapplication. That's pretty great. And then Cinebench testing, we dropped 5 degrees, going from 73 C. This was the multi-threaded test in the latest version of Cinebench, and we dropped from 73 to 68 C, which is not a huge amount, not quite as impressive as the idle temp difference, but still a measurable amount and a nice improvement overall. And then the GPU, we went from 71 C on our 3080 to 70 C, which is just a 1 degree improvement. However, the kicker for this one is that the ambient temp is much warmer now than it was when I originally tested, by about 8 degrees. because when I first tested, it was like 7 in the morning. It was like 68, 69 C, nice. But now it's like 70, it's almost 77. It was 77 when I tested earlier. So a big difference in temperatures. It's much warmer now, but even though it's 7 or 8 degrees warmer, we're still running a degree cooler than we were on the 3080. So that is still a really nice improvement. As you can see, we are running Combustor right now, so there is some noise from the PC, especially because the side panel's off, but most of the noise at the moment is coming from the GPU, actually. I'm just running standard fan curves on everything. I just configured everything to standard. I didn't even bother with silent profiles because these are high-quality fans, and they're quiet enough at the higher RPMs. But yeah, I think Alvaro has a few good years left on this PC still before we have to do any major upgrades, which when that time comes, I'll most likely be a part of that. Would be happy to help him out. Maybe make a video on that as well. But yeah, it's still got some life in it. Also, stay tuned for a house update video coming very soon. Hopefully, the next video I post will be another house rebuild update, and we'll be actually pouring the concrete of the retaining wall if all goes smoothly, which is really exciting because once that wall is done, we'll be able to move on to the foundation of the actual house, which is really exciting. So yeah, if you missed the first house rebuild vlog that I posted, go ahead and watch that if you want more details on the retaining wall itself. Alvaro talks about it in detail. It's really interesting stuff. I also go shopping for doors and windows, which is kind of cool. But thank you very much for watching this video. That's all for this one, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.